Well, that didn't work. All right. Peace, peace, peace. Welcome to the versatile experience. Waiting on my guests to join, then we'll get started um, with the discussion today. This is what we're talking about. Yeah. So I've been kind of waiting on this dude, Charleston White, to get exposed, and it's finally happened. And once my guests join, um, we'll go into detail about what actually happened with Charleston White and how he got exposed. Um, so let me see if I've got any notifications. We'll be joined by James Jones and Mr. Kendrick Fulton, right? Um, Two individuals that I have a lot of respect for who came from, the same kind of background, similar background, have similar stories. And one of them is in Washington, D.C. The other one is in Dallas, Texas, somewhere in Texas. I think it's Dallas or Irvin or somewhere in that area, if I'm not mistaken. Kendrick Fulton is from, it might be from Houston. I can't remember for some reason. But they will be joining us in a second. Trying to work on something. Media presentation. How do I add my media? All right, where they at? Media assets. For video. Background music. Let's try this. Okay, a second. I'm looking for something. Got two lenders named Chris. I need to get this background off of here. Make sure you remove from stay access. No. Alright, let's try this. Alright, it's not working. And it's only going to show when I'm not on the screen, and that's not going to work. So, and I don't like the music. Let me see, where are they at? I don't know where they at. Let me call. Hey, you coming on?
Yes, sir. You sent it by email, or you sent it?
It's in your email.
All right.
Okay, all right. Nobody's ever on time for these things. So I guess I give you a rundown of what we're talking about. We're talking about Charleston White, who is a legendary troll. That's what I know him as, right? Charleston White came up in the social media scene from trolling. That's basically all I can say about him, right? He's been trolling for a while, and he's mastered the art of trolling, and now all of a sudden he's been somehow he's considered an influencer. He's someone whose opinion matters all of a sudden, right? So now they're playing all of his stuff like he matters. I don't understand it, right? He came up trolling, and now he's an authority on matters. Like, it's funny, but he's been called out by a legendary rapper named Twisted Black. Twisted Black is a rapper out of Fort Worth, Texas, who was incarcerated in, I think, 2006, 5 or 6 or somewhere around there, right? For 30 years. He received a 30-year sentence for his role in I don't know if he had a conspiracy, some type of drug charge. Yeah, and this happened at the peak of his rap career. He had just, I think, inked a deal with, I think, Cash Money or J Prince or one of those, larger labels down south. And I think it was for $1 million he signed early, but he got busted right after that. And from what I hear, it was, he had went to some town and it was his first time there and got busted his first time and got a 30-year sentence. Not a laughing matter, right? And he never really got a chance to blow up. So a lot of people don't know about him. He's a legend down there, right? But before he was able to really make his mark on the rap scene, this happened. And he's home now after serving, if he went in 2006 or 5, that's about 20 years. I think, no, a little less than 20, because he's been home. He's been home for a while now, for not a while, over a year, if I'm not mistaken. So he served, 18 years, 17 years, something like that, right? Yeah, and now he's home. And he's done something that should have been done a long time ago. He's taking shots at Charleston White. And a lot of people have just fallen silent about this dude. I don't know what it is, man, but Charleston White has called out every individual. Like he's the king of trolls, man. Like he came at a lot of people, man. He doesn't parse words, man, and he ain't sugarcoat nothing. He tells you exactly how he feels about a situation, regardless of how asinine he sounds. He's gonna voice his opinion. And there have been rappers in the past who were not pleased with what he said, and I think he got jumped one time. But what I thought would happen to him has not happened to him, because he took shots at, I guess, every gang in America. Crips, Bloods, GDs, Vice, I don't care what. He's taking shots at everybody, every artist who's a part of a clique, a set. He's taking shots at them. He's talked about their parents, their children, their everything, and no repercussions, man. Like, people continue to hand him the mic. And I watched how people just gradually started giving him the mic more and more, right? And I'm like, this dude has gone from a clown to a marketing phenomenon, because every show he got on, you're doing a million streams, and it's because people like to hear absurdity, right? They like to hear people just talk crazy, and it got to the point where people started admiring him for what he was saying and agreeing with him, and he might even have a fan club at this point. I don't know, right? But finally someone has said something about his antics, his position, his disrespect for the dead. I mean, when I say disrespect for the dead, I'm not going to say finally someone has said something, because I know two people who have been super, they have voiced their opinions on quite a few occasions, right? And that's Melvin Farmer and Ayatollah Marv. Ayatollah Marv and Melvin Farmer, they could not stand this dude, Charleston White. But I'm going to welcome to the show Mr. James Jones. He is the first guest on. Good afternoon, Mr. Jones. How you doing, sir?
I'm great. How about yourself, sir?
I'm outstanding, man. I'm talking about the situation with Charleston White and Twisted Black, right? But at first, I'm giving them a little background on who Charleston White is, right? Because I think it's very important, you know, that the viewers, everybody who's on YouTube knows who Charleston White is, and Instagram and you know, TikTok, all it, because he's in everybody's video. All the podcasts have had Charleston White on their stage, right? But what people don't know, they don't know who Twisted Black is. A lot of people, right? Are you familiar with Twisted Black, James?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so I was just telling them he's a legendary rapper in Texas. Like, right, in Texas, everybody, they all know Twisted Black. He was the next big thing coming out of Fort Worth, Funky Town, right? He got indicted in like 2005, 2006, and went to the feds right after he signed a big deal with a large, either Jay Prince picked him up or Cash Money. It was one of those, or maybe No Limit, but I think it was Cash Money for some reason. But Twisted Black had just signed a deal. He was about to be the next big thing out of Fort Worth, Texas, and he got indicted. Right, went to the feds, got a 30-year sentence. You know, he was like you and I, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was actually at Beaumont with him. So when he came in, I was at Beaumont Medium. Beaumont, the FCI had closed down after that storm. I forgot which storm it was. Was it Katrina? It was Ike. Was it Ike? It might have been Hurricane.
Which one it was, but I remember it closing down for a minute.
Yeah, they vacated Beaumont, Texas, right? That institution. They sent all those guys out to like the Midwest, to all the pens out there, like Leavenworth. What's the other ones out in Kansas? All the ones out there. They sent everybody out of there, right? And then when they opened it back up, they brought in new bodies. That's how I got sent from Petersburg, Virginia to Texas, because they did what they had. What is it called? Population management, when they needed black bodies out there because of the ratio. They wanted more black people on the yard. But anyway, did you have an opportunity to listen to, you know, this little video?
Yeah, I listened to
the diss song. Okay, so I'm gonna play it real quick for anybody who hasn't heard it, right? I'm gonna play it if I can. Let me see how would I do that? Let me share my screen. Give me 1 second. Video file, image file, extra camera, slides and PDFs. Trying to figure out how I would do this. Boom. Here we go. Boom. All right, share. All right. Can you see it, James?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Fucking with gangsters, you think it's cool because you ain't been touched. Somebody gonna lay on that spot that you got on the west and pop out and turn you.
Oh, let me start at the beginning. If I can look, let me see if I can rewind it. You can hear it too, James?
Yes, I can hear it.
I'll let it.
Daddy lying about going to prison. You never seen inside of a pen. Went to a mental facility when you was a kid. Yo, we ain't gonna call it a bed. Nigga, you kidding? You was in Giddens. That's where they send little boy when they bad. You need a hug. Nigga, let cut through the mud. Really want me for a dad. You was my sperm. Daddy would fix up your perm. Change up your name from Wedo to Burns. She still an eye to get stuck in the sky. With some lubricant so it can turn. I give you props cause you do go hard on the rag. I got a few questions to that. You played 50, so nigga, you got to be Nicky. So how you keep ducking me cash? Oh, let me guess. Now you gon' call up the ward and tell him that Twisted Black rapping again. And tell him how you took a shot at my son. I got on your air from the pen. Or you gon' say that he too old to rap. This nigga tripping, he really should quit. But I got a flick A really old video clip, and I swear, so you sucking dick. Boy, you a gump, a pimp with a stable of pumps. All this gon' end with a ride in the trunk. You shooting gas out your ass like a skunk. I'm liking the post from a bump. Now you on the clock and I'm at the door. Fire off a shot if you wanna, but I'm gonna come out my coma and turn up the heat in the streets and make them a sauna. They niggas cap tracks, they ain't had no money, they ain't never been in no war, they ain't never had $100 grand in each of their hand, but that was just money to score. They ain't never stood up for count, had to take off from the CO cause they had a jack. They don't know nothing about that. They ain't never took no licks, so they cap on tracks. These niggas cap tracks, they ain't had no money, they ain't never been in no war, they ain't never had $100 grand in each of their hand, but that was just money to score. They ain't never stood up for count, had to take off from the CO cause they had a jack. They don't know nothing about that. They ain't never took no licks, so they cap on tracks.
This is an honor. This is an honor to call the police.
Get him! Should I get him? I ain't gon' rap with no nigga that's faked it. We ain't the same, I come up off a pot. We talking tough through a phone with a license to carry a Glock. You really a cop. You got a fetish for fucking with gangsters. You think it's cool cause you ain't been touched. Somebody gon' lay on that spot that you got on the west. Pop out and turn you to slush. You steady lying about going to prison. You never seen the inside of a pen. Went to a mental facility when you was a kid. Yo, we gon' call it a bid. Nigga, you kidding?
All right. That's man. He really goes in on that track, right? I listened to it when I first heard it. I probably listened to it about 5 times over and over, man, because I just couldn't believe what I was hearing. Twisted Black, man, was like, he's a beast, and he really destroys Charleston White on that track, man. He talks about him going to a mental facility when he was a kid, and that explains a lot, right? And you know, he's proud of telling on people. That's another good thing. I mean, that's another thing he points out. He's man, like he really goes in on Charleston White. And I other than Melvin Farmer and Ayatollah Marv, I've been seeing a lot of people like, patting this dude on the back, Charleston White, right? But Melvin Farmer and Ayatollah, right? Those are the two people who really kind of made Charleston White. Have you ever had the time to watch his videos, James? You can't hear me? It's probably your headpiece, your earpiece. It's your earpiece. Go out and come back in. Yeah.
I can hear you now.
Okay, all right, got you. Yeah, sometimes the earpiece out. People been having issues with them. But I was asking, have you ever watched Charleston White? Have you seen him in the past and heard some of the vitriol he spills?
Yeah, I have. I've watched some of his videos. I'm not a fan of his videos. I'm not saying that I disagree with him. Some of the things he say be on point. But a lot of the things, I just take what I feel like I can, relate to and just keep it moving.
So the first time I heard him, I was shocked, right? Because he was talking about the dead like pretty harshly. Like he would talk about Nipsey Hussle, and I was like, "What? This dude tripping?" Like they love Nipsey out here. Like I've never heard anybody talk about dead people like that, right? And just like disrespect them, right?
Well, Carlos, I think that some people, particularly him, he's just looking for a way to come up. And a lot of times they ride off of other people's coattail. We know Nipsey was that, one of those guys. So now he's going to grab all the people that he feel like are trending or has the potential to trend, or take him to a point where he can trend, and he's going to speak on them. That's what a lot of people do, and that's what he's doing.
Yeah. So I see it. I see it for what it's worth, right? But I also see the people who give him the mic. Why you keep passing them the mic? I don't understand that, right? He's like, you have individuals out here who really have something to say. You know what I'm saying? Who talking positive. Why is it that the Charleston Whites of the world keep getting the mic? That's the ones who get, a million
because
views. And
because a lot of people in the world today, they not all, but a lot of people in the world today, they just with the drama, they with the foolishness, they like the entertainment, and he made a statement, and I don't know how true it is because I don't follow him at all. I don't even
yeah,
see him at all. But
yeah,
I'm just saying that he said that when he was speaking positive things, people wasn't listening, but now he speaks crazy, everybody listens. And it's sad to
yeah,
say that that's true. When you post something positive, you get we may like the growth hour. We do the show, we may have 1,000 views or 800 views, but if I post something that's relatable, that we may perceive as something that's not of interest, I get 10,000 views.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, that makes sense, right? And when I talked to this dude, right, and he told me that for him to go on a podcast is $10,000, right? So these podcasts are paying him at least 10,000 to come on because they already know their numbers gonna go up, right? So he doesn't he does like and then he goes on there to say crazy stuff because that's what they're paying for. They're paying Charleston White $10,000 to come on there and spew some crazy mess that could get him killed, but never does. Your sound out. Your sound out again. Your sound out. I can't hear you. Your mic. There you go. Uh-uh. It's that earpiece, man. It probably. I still can't hear you. Try going out and coming back in. Yeah, those earpieces don't work well with this. Yeah, he'll be back in, but so when he comes back in, I mean, I guess we'll continue. But anyway, if you're talking about anything that someone can grow from, this actually helpful, right? You're not gonna get the views. But when you go in there and you're talking about nonsense like Charleston White, he now oh, he's back. All right. Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear the background. Yeah.
Okay, I was saying that if they paying him 10,000, how much are they making? And that goes back to what I tell you about that a lot of people focus on the wrong thing. But who are we to say what's wrong and what's right? Just because
Yeah.
we look at something and say, hey, this is what we should be doing, that don't mean that the next person is looking at it as the same way. I spoke to someone last night, young adult, young lady, and I had was going into a building for something, seen her, and started talking to her and asking her what she wanted to do with her life, and she told me she had absolutely no plan. She had no goals. She was just existing. You know,
Yeah.
and then I asked her, "Do you travel?" She said, "No, the people I hang around, they don't travel." So I recognize that you have a lot of people like that that's out there, and I'm not saying that she's a bad person. I'm just saying that come on, you got to be working towards something.
Well, I mean, that's a good point. And how old was she?
How about 26, 27?
So she was just wasting air, basically. She just
Basically, basically.
she wasting air. And
Yeah,
those
but
are the
again,
type
that's
of people
that's
I believe.
that's what we see. That's what we say. But I'm
Yeah.
learning that if you ask her, she'll tell you something completely different.
Okay. But they'll waste of air, they'll waste of space, right? I feel like it's like if you get in your car and you put a destination in, you're gonna go to that destination, right? Because you map it out. But if you get in your car and you don't put a destination in and you don't know where you're going, you're just gonna be driving in circles. And that's what a lot of people doing. They just riding around here driving in circles. And if you got time to just drive in circles, you got time to follow a dude like Charleston White. You got time to listen to him. Like he becomes somebody that you respect and his words of you respect. So then when this the same person who said fuck Nipsey Hussle and fuck all these other dead people, right? He's the same one that people listening to. Like the guy Twisted Black, he went at him because he said something about I don't know the rapper. I don't know this individual who just passed recently, right? I'm gonna say his name. I'm gonna read his name. G dollar sign or something like that, and Lil Ronnie and his daughter. So evidently, this G dollar sign was killed with his child. So I don't know if you heard about that, James, but this rapper, he was beefing with somebody, and when his ops caught him, your sound gone again. Hey, I'll go ahead. So this dude G dollar sign, and what does the dollar sign stand for? Is it an S? I don't know, but I can't hear you again. You gone again. I wonder why he keep fading away. But yeah, they caught this dude G dollar sign Lil Ronnie and his daughter, and they killed them. Right, and I think it was Boosie, Lil Boosie had went live, and he was talking about like if you catch a dude with his seed, with his family, man, let him make it. Let him make it, man. See him later, right? And yeah, I don't know how you keep going out, but look, this is what I was just talking about. The dude G dollar sign who got killed with his daughter. You heard about that, James?
No, I haven't.
All right, so it's a rapper. He was beefing with somebody. His ops caught him, and they killed him and his little girl. His little girl was about 5 or 6 years old, right? So there was like an uproar behind that. Like, why did they kill him and his daughter? If your beef is with him, handle your business, or even let him make it. Lil Boosie said they should have let him make it, right? I mean, I feel the same way. Like, I'm not gonna, like, I'll see you another time. Like, you get a pass because you with your seed. Where are you at? Like, you outside of a prison. That look like a perimeter fence.
I'm at a church. This is how bad Charleston White got it. He got us. The church is putting bars up and fences up.
Man,
I'm at a church,
yeah,
bro.
that look like a perimeter fence over there, man.
Yeah, it do, don't it?
That's how they doing in DC. Their churches got perimeters.
Yes, they do. Some churches do, brother.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, they got to keep the riffraff out, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah, the gentleman say that Peter carried a sword when he was walking with Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, but I will get this dude credit. He does say some stuff that's right on time, right? Charleston White, everything he says is not stupid. But then he'll say some smart stuff, and then he'll turn around and say something stupid, and it kind of just like negates what he just said. And I'm like, man, I can't.
But that's what they want to hear.
I can't take him serious though. You can't take him serious, like. So I don't think he wants to be taken serious. I think he doesn't want to be taken serious because if we see him as a buffoon, as a clown, right? We won't expect anything from him, right? We won't expect wise words from a dummy. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm so surprised. So I see that he's dumb. I talked to him on the phone. He told me out of his own mouth he was dumb. He told me out of his own mouth. He said, "Man, my nigga, I ain't that bright. I can't understand all that." You know what I'm saying? Like he knows he's not that sharp. But people actually believe this man got some sense. This man is super stupid. Like super stupid, right? And really like what's your name? Twisted Black exposes. I don't know if did you listen to it? He said at one point he got a tape of this man. He said he's performing fellatio on a tape. So Twisted Black is like, they're from the same area. They both from Texas. That's another thing. Charleston White is from Texas. I don't know what part. I think he's from Houston. He might be from Dallas. I don't know. But I know he goes in pretty hard on them Texas rappers. Those Dallas rappers, he goes in on them. Like he was really beefing with them. And Twisted Black is basically from the Dallas area. He's from Fort Worth. So he knows this dude. You know what I'm saying? He knows things about this dude that we don't know. Other people don't know. I had another guest coming on. I don't think he could get on. And he's from Texas.
What it's causing you to do, you got to do a whole bunch of signing in, brother. I don't know if you're aware of it on our end. We got to sign into Facebook or either YouTube and all that type of stuff there to actually get into your get on this platform. And I'm not saying that he don't have that, but a lot of people don't have their their passwords handy.
Oh, okay. Got you.
Because
Got you.
you got my name. Because, I was only able to do it because I have a YouTube channel, and I went through my YouTube channel to actually do it.
Okay. Yeah, and he's driving. So that won't help. He had a 5-hour trip. And he was going to get on while he was driving. So if he got to do all of that, that's probably why he's not able to log on. But he's from Texas, like myself, and like you. He did, I think he did like 20 years, and he's home now, successful business owner, owns property, but he's more in tune with what's happening in Texas. I know about Texas because of the 8 years I spent there when I was in that area, in that region during my time, right? So I know a lot about Texas. I know a lot about the different parts of Texas and the differences between Dallas and Houston. They're different, dude. Like, Texas is a huge state. It's huge, man.
In the 80s, I used to hustle in Texas. And I
Okay,
used to
so you're familiar.
So I'm familiar with it. Yeah, I used to be in Dallas, Texas, Oak Cliff area, and so I'm familiar with a lot of that goes on. And you're correct that it's a different type of swag based on the city you're from.
Exactly. Yep. They move different. They talk different. Like San Antonio is 10 times different than Houston. Houston is different than Dallas. It's just different. It's so spread out. And I'm pretty sure that Charleston White and Twisted Black are from the same area. And one of my good friends while I was in Beaumont was Twisted Black's bodyguard. We call him Big, right? He's a big old dude, about 6'5", 6'6", and I would play him in Scrabble every day. I would beat up on him on that Scrabble board, right? That's my guy, though, but I would punish him on that Scrabble board. And we played all the time, right? And he would tell me a lot about Twisted Black. I was on the yard at Beaumont Medium, and they used to have rap battles. Like, they had some serious rap battles over there. So when Twisted Black got on the yard, there was a guy, they called him Slim Reaper, and he was a beast. And he wanted to see Twisted Black so bad. But Twisted Black was like, like, I'm a made nigga. I don't need to battle you. I don't need to battle some nigga on the yard. So they never battled before I left. But I know that dude, Slim Reaper, he would call out Twisted Black. He wanted to see Twisted Black so bad because that's an opportunity to make a name for himself on the yard. Like I'm battling a real rap. Like Twisted Black was really, really, and I won't say was because I think he's about to make a move now because he's home now. And lyrically, like he's a monster lyrically. And hopefully this will get him some exposure because, he's a solid dude. He's a real dude. He's not somebody that Charleston White can play with, right? He's not somebody, and they love him in Fort Worth. Funky Town is different, right? So I think that I can't wait to see how he responds. I can't wait to see how he responds. But I'm glad that somebody exposed him. Somebody credible exposed. Not to say, everybody else that's been going at him. Melvin and Ayatollah are the only ones I really seen go at him. Now what's going to happen is, people going to stop. Well, nah, I don't think it's not going to stop his bag. It's not going to stop his money. They don't care if he gay. Yeah, and one of the things that Twisted Black said, a term we learned in the feds is gump. Like, a lot of people out here don't know what a gump is. He called him a gump. I was like, man, a gump is basically a homosexual. So Twisted Black said Charleston White is a homosexual. He's a gump. That's why he's so hard on women. I don't know if you've seen his videos when he be talking to girls on it. Have you seen any of those?
No.
He's super hard on black women. Like he really goes in on black women, man. He disrespects them, and they make it like it's cool on the podcast. Like, he'll sit there and, man, and that's probably part of the reason he doesn't like women. I think that's it. Are you in trap? You about to go somewhere? Or you just want to get out of there and win?
I want to get out there, son.
Okay, and it's windy. Well, I guess It's not. It's not windy up there. It's windy here. It's sunny and windy.
Nice. It's nice up here, brother. It is 60 degrees up here.
Okay. So I
It's
know.
nice compared to what it's been in the 30s and the 20s.
All right. So I mean, we've talked about Twisty Black. We've talked about Charleston White. I haven't had anyone text me or call me about the topic. I guess people have to go back and listen to the song. I would play it again. I wanted to wait for Mr. Kendrick Fulton to come on, right? But he's not. I don't think he's gonna make it on. So I want to ask you one thing. You know, it's election time. Let's talk about that, right? I'm about to go to Nashville, Tennessee on the 25th. And the 26th. I know elections are big for you too, right? You understand how politics is and how you're in DC. You know, you're in DC. So I know local elections are big. Local elections are big everywhere. But right now I'm going to Nashville because they need it. They got a super majority and they're trying to flip the House. They're trying to flip the Senate. You know, they got to get some Democrats in there. They think they do anyway. What do you think right now, man? Because I don't know what's going on in the United States. Like it's surprising to me, especially what's happening with Canada. Canada is like Canada done. They like, man, listen, we not playing. Oh, he keeps falling off. But anyway, I keep on going about this Canada situation because Canada said they can turn our lights off. They can turn our lights off, man. Trump keep playing with these people. I didn't even realize how much we relied on them for our energy grid. Right? They can turn the lights off on us. Now, what are we going to do in the dark? You know, so I don't know how that works. I thought we supplied we had our own grid, our own electricity. So he's talking about he could turn the lights off. This is what the prime minister in Canada is saying about the United States. So, you know, hopefully that's cap. Hopefully that's cap because I don't know, you know, what it would be like if you know, they decided they want to cut our power. How can they do that? Like we have our own dams and these dams supply us with a lot of electricity. We have solar power. We have a lot of power that we create in the United States. I don't understand how Canada. Hold up, somebody messaged. Let me see how I can read my messages because somebody's comments. All right, official Pooh Black 100. Salute. One, what is this? One, your content. Okay. The light bill went up $100. Who light bill went up $100? I heard him say something about the light bills going up $100. How is that possible? How can Canada do something to make our light bills go up? I've heard that, but I still don't understand. I mean, we got so much of our own, like Duke Power, and I don't know, wherever you at, they got different power companies, right? The power's not coming from Canada. Like maybe I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know how Canada can cut our power. Like I think our oil, they have their oil that comes from Alaska, and they have a pipeline or whatever, right, that they ran from Alaska to the United States. And I'm pretty sure that pipeline had to come through Canada, right? But in order to come through Canada, Canada had to sanction it, right? So what are they talking about? Cutting our power that way? Like what I don't get it, right? I mean, then they don't have firepower. Like we can pretty much make them do what we want, right? And I think that I don't know. The states who Canada control with the grids. So Canada does have states. I'm pretty sure North Carolina ain't one of them. I ain't got to worry about that. We far from Canada. So I guess the Midwest would be in harm's way because the Midwest borders on Canada. New York, you know, certain states along the north, on those Great Lakes and whatnot, right? They border on Canada. On to the west, Oregon, those states border on Canada. But so maybe they do have something going on with their grid over there. So we're gonna pivot. Before we pivot, I'm gonna play this song one more time. I want y'all to hear One more time, this diss track by Twisted Black, aimed directly at yours truly, Charleston White.
You was in kittens. That's what they send little boy when they bad. You need a hug. Nigga, like cut through the mud. Really want me for a dad. You was my sperm. Daddy would fix up your perm. Change up your name from Wedo to Burns. She still an eye to get stuck in the sky. Put some lubricant so it can turn. I give you props cause you do go hard on the rag. I got a few questions to that. You play the 50, so nigga, you got to be Mickey. So how you keep ducking these cats? Oh, let me guess. Now you gon' call up the ward and tell him that Twisted Black rapping again. Tell him how you took a shot at my son. I got on your air from the pen. Boy, you gon' say that he too old to rap. This nigga trippin', he really should quit. But I got a flick, a really old video clip. And I swear, so you sucking dick. Boy, you a gump, a pimp with a stable of pumps. All this gon' end with a ride in the trunk. You shooting gas out your air like a skunk. I'm liking the post from my bump. Now you on the clock and I'm at the door. Fire off a shot if you wanna, but I'm gonna come out my coma and turn up the heat in the streets and make them a sauna. They niggas cap tracks, they ain't had no money, they ain't never been in no war, they ain't never had $100 grand in each of their hand, but that was just money to score. They ain't never stood up for count, had to take off from the CO cause they had a jack. They don't know nothing about that. They ain't never took no licks, so they cap on tracks. These niggas cap tracks, they ain't had no money, they ain't never been in no war, they ain't never had $100 grand in each of their hand, but that was just money to score. They ain't never stood up for count, had to take off from the CO cause they had a jack. They don't know nothing about that. They ain't never took no licks, so they cap on tracks. This is an honor. This is an honor to call the police. Get him.
Man, again, every time I hear it, I'm just as impressed. Every single time, man. Like, I mean, if you listen to the lyrics, man, what he's saying, and then you got this dude, Charleston White, who said it's an honor to snitch. Like, I think he might have something to do with all of these snitches we have in society today. It's become more and more popular, man. Charleston White is one of those who's a advocate of snitching, probably because he is one, right? And Twisted Black, he just made a lot of points, but he said he has a video with Charleston White giving fellatio, sucking dingling, right? So I mean, I don't know if he's going to expose it, if he's just capping, or if he really has it. But Charleston White, if it comes out that that is true, right, that will take all your credibility. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't wait to find out what happens, man. Twisted Black, man, shout out. He is a outstanding rapper, legendary in the South. Yeah, go check out Twisted Black, man. I guess he got something new coming out, man. It's Twisted Black. Twisted Black. He's been shot in the face, right? So part of his jaw right here has been like cut off from being shot. Like, I don't know, if it was close range, somebody was standing over him or what, man. But the dude survived a lot, man. He survived, and he's able to split the day. Went to the feds, he ain't telling on nobody, came home. I think one of those second chance acts or one of those acts got him off because he had a 30 piece. Like myself, I had a 30 piece too. I won my 22.55, which is hard to do, right? Which is super hard to do. A lot of dudes don't even get to that point because they cop a plea, right? If you cop a plea, you can't plead, you can't fight. You can't file it on appeal. I want mine on appeal, and it take a lot of guts to do that. Twisted Black got 30 years. He I don't know how he got it. I don't really know everything about his case. I do know he's solid. I know that, being I was on the yard with him, and being I know his people. I know Big. See if you can post your link so I can come up with who is this? You want to come up? If you want to come up, send me your put your email in the comments, and I'll bring you up right now. Put your email in the comments, and I'll bring you up. I don't mind bringing people onto the show, right? And yeah, I want to hear. I really gotta I'm gonna have to cut this short. And if you send me your thing, I'll bring you up, but I'm gonna have to go ahead and end this because I'm in the middle of a transaction and it's taking longer than we expected. So I appreciate you guys for coming on, joining. We're gonna follow up with a part 2. I got quite a few people who wanted to be on but couldn't, not at this time. So we'll do a part 2, and I might even bring Charleston White on. I might bring Charleston White on to let him defend himself. See what he has to say. Yeah, matter of fact, let me call him. I'm gonna call him and see what he want to do. Let me see if he want to come on. So, I spelled it wrong. Watch this. Oops, I accidentally FaceTime. I mean to FaceTime.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is...
He ain't answering. I want to see if he want to come on and defend himself.
Your call has been forwarded to...
He ain't answering. Yeah, he'll call back. But we ain't cool or nothing like that. I just got his number one time when we was on what's that? It's another social media app called Clubhouse. And that's how I met him on Clubhouse, and he gave me his math then. But we bumped heads on Clubhouse. Like he kicked me off the stage because I didn't agree with what he was saying. You know what I'm saying? like I'm not a gopher. I'm not gonna just agree with you. I'm not gonna go for anything, right? So he had said something smart. This is before he was like really known. And a friend of mine was like, man, you ever heard of this dude, man? He on Clubhouse. Man, you need to come listen to this. Man, I got on Clubhouse and I saw how you get on the stage. You can ask to come up, and then I voiced my opinion. It was him. And I think it was Whack 100, man. I think it was him and Whack 100. Whack 100 was big on Clubhouse, and Charleston White was like his sidekick on there, something like that. And they had a big club. They had a lot of people, and they invited me up. And I was talking, and they like what I had to say. So this dude Whack, Whack was cool. We was cool, and Charleston too, until Charleston said something stupid. I don't know what he said. I'm like, hold up, bro, that ain't, that wasn't, conducive with how I felt. I didn't feel like what he said was cool. So I said something, and he was like, man, my nigga, what you? He got a tendency to say my nigga this, my nigga. So he say that a lot. He's like, man, my nigga, what you mean? Da, 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 da. And I'm like, nah, man. And he was kind of like trying to, I'm like, hold up, man. You getting upset because I don't agree with you, man. I'm a man. You feel what I'm saying? I ain't gotta, and mind you, this is their platform. This was their what is the Clubhouse called? Their club, I guess. I don't know. So this was their club. So he was like, man, I ain't trying to hear what this nigga got to say. He hit, I guess it's some button you can get and kick me off the stage. So I went from being on the stage where I could talk to being off the stage where they can't hear me. But when he kicked me off the stage, he was still going in. So I'm on the joint. I'm mad because I want to get back in there and defend myself. I want to say something to him. But when they kick you off the stage, you can't, you that's it. They silence you. But Whack 100 straightened them. Like, I'm off the stage at this point. Whack was like, nah, bro, you was wrong. Like, man, my man, he made a good point. Da, 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 da. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was, but it's his show. So Charleston couldn't kick him off the show, but he kicked me off, right? And if I'm almost positive, if it wasn't Whack 100, it was a name sort of like that. It was some dude, and he was, but I thought that dude told me he was from like Chicago or something. Like, me and the dude chopped it up for a minute, and I remember he said he had never been locked up. He was like, nah, man. He said, man, I ain't never been locked up, but I've been in these streets. He was a street dude. I know I could tell how he talked. He was a solid dude. Yeah. What's up, Jarvis? I got my man Jarvis on here on Facebook, and I got some people on YouTube as well, right? So Jarvis, I would love, man. I wish I could have got you on here. I need to get you on here because you talk that political talk. You talk what we really need to hear. So, a lot of people come on because they see these what they call these thumbnails I use, right? So these thumbnails will be something, Charleston White and Twisted Black, or before I did when 50 was beefing with Meech, I used that thumbnail, and I got these people came on. It attracts people, right? Because people are attracted to negativity. But then at the end, I'll switch it up and I have a positive message and I talk about something positive, right? So I'm gonna do that now, right? So because I have people who are tuning in, I got to talk about things that really matter. And things that really matter to me right now are people who are incarcerated for crimes they didn't commit, right? I don't understand why we want to talk about everything, but we got Black people right now locked up for crimes they did not commit, and we not doing shit. We just letting them be in there. You know what I'm saying? But so this is what I see, right? Is when our people are accused of something, when they're in trouble, we automatically convict them in our minds, right? We don't give them an opportunity to fight. We don't help them with their defense. But when they on the other side, like let's say white people, what they call it? YT people, right? YT. But when their people are in trouble, they come to their rescue. They defend, they help them. They help them get attorneys. They help, you know what I'm saying? Like they get them out on bond. They do what they can. Like, okay, you're innocent until proven guilty. We're supporting you. We're going to stand with you. And they do everything they can. So because of that, this person has an opportunity to put up an actual defense, right? They actually get an opportunity to defend themselves from the streets as opposed to defending themselves while incarcerated. Like for me, I had to defend myself from the jail. For 19 months, I sat in Charlotte-Mecklenburg County Jail, right? No bond, because the feds didn't give you bond unless you were cooperating, right? So I didn't have a bond. But if it would have been a European, they get out on bond. They get out on bond. They at home fighting. It's easier to fight when you're at home. When you're in jail, you're dealing with, the jail is horrible. Prisons are sweet compared to jails. Jails, you can't wait to get sentenced, to go up the road. That's how bad the jails are. But it's intentionally made that way. They want you to go in there and cop out. And if the jail is harsh enough on you, you will do anything just to get out of that jail. Man, anything beats this. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times they get guilty pleas because dudes are ready to get out of there. Then they lie. So I'm going to give you a case, and I'm going to talk about this because I have the platform. I'm going to talk about the case of Kenneth D'Angelo Thomas, right? AKA D-Lo. This is a guy out of Nashville, Tennessee. And I don't want y'all to just listen. I want you to research it. Look up this case, right? He's been incarcerated 23 years today, right? 23 years, not today, but 23 years now, right? He's been incarcerated 23 years for a murder he did not commit. A murder he was not present at. He didn't know about it, anything. What happened, and I want you to know about this because this can happen to anybody. They wanted him off the streets, right? So he was what they considered a menace. Every time they charged him with something, he would beat it, right? So they wanted him bad. They wanted him so bad that they had someone lie on him, right? They had an individual lie on him. The individual who lied on him was someone he knew, a guy named Paul Talley. Paul Talley didn't lie at first. So his testimony was that D-Lo killed this young man, right? 12 years, or was it 10 years? 10 or 12 years after D-Lo was convicted of this murder, based on the testimony of Paul Talley came forward and said, I lied. He issued an affidavit saying, man, I was coerced. I was coerced by the prosecution's side. I don't know if it was the prosecution's attorney or if it was the investigator, but that side coerced him into lying and saying D-Lo did it. This was 12 years ago, right? So 12 years ago, the judge decided that they didn't believe him. They were like, oh no, we don't believe you. We believe you told the truth the first time. We don't believe you now that you're trying to say that you lied. So that was 12 years ago. For 12 years, that man has been fighting to get D-Lo out. I interviewed him. He told me the same thing. I got a long interview where he told me, man, listen, the man didn't do it. They didn't make him. They coerced him to say that D-Lo did it. Fast forward, 2023, D-Lo was able to hire another attorney. Listen to this. The new attorney goes and gets D-Lo's file from the prosecutor. This is a 23-year-old case at this point. So when he goes to get the case, there's a new prosecutor. The whole office is flipped. So they gave him the file. He thought about it. He said, you know what? Let me get his other files as well. That means he got the files of all the charges that D-Lo had beat in the past. He got those files. Why you need those? I don't know. But this attorney did his due diligence and he got those files as well. When he went through all of these files, he found in one of the files that one of the charges that D-Lo had beaten, he found in there testimony from Paul Talley stating that he knew who committed the murder and that the person who committed the murder hung with D-Lo. He didn't know his name. He knew his brother's name was such and such, but he hung with D-Lo. He hung out with D-Lo. He said this twice. There's a recording. I read the transcripts with my own eyes. So that first testimony he gave, they stopped it. They stopped the investigation. They stopped the questioning. And then they came back and they started over. When they started over, that's when he said, oh, D-Lo did it. So during that time is when the agents coerced him to change his testimony and say D-Lo was the one who committed the murder. Why? Because they wanted D-Lo off the streets. So what did they do with that first interview? They said, okay, let's tuck this over here. They'll never find it over here because this file, he beat this charge. Why would they go in there? So they tucked it in there, right? 23 years later, it gets found. So now 21 years later, it got found. Now we're trying to work to get D-Lo out. They found this new evidence which supports Paul Talley's testimony 12 years ago when he said he lied. This new evidence supports it, right? So now we go to court on the 21st. He goes to court in Nashville, Tennessee on the 21st in front of a judge, Khadijah Babs, at 9:00 a.m., right? I will be there on the 21st, right? Because I'm going to make sure not just me, organizations out of Nashville, Tennessee will all be present in that courtroom to watch, to make sure they do the right thing in the case of Kenneth D'Angelo Thomas, right? And that's free him. That's the right thing, right? Because he did not commit the murder. You have proof he did not commit the murder. So why is he still incarcerated? But this is what I'm concerned with, is people who are incarcerated who shouldn't be, right? In Nashville, Tennessee, not in Nashville, in Tennessee, they have something called criminal responsibility, right? It's a charge that it carries life plus, because everybody who gets charged with criminal responsibility gets 100 years or more, So I know 2 individuals in there right now three who have life sentences plus. One has life plus 100 years. One has life plus like 80 years. All of them have life plus for a charge called criminal responsibility. Criminal responsibility means you knew about it and you didn't say anything to the police, or you failed to do something, right? But the murderer, the person who committed the murder, in one case, he got 25 years. In the other case, the guy, I think, got 40 years. So these guys, that means for pulling a trigger, I'm going to get less time than the guy who knew I pulled the trigger. Make that make sense, right? So because I know that this dude killed somebody and I didn't call the police on him, you will give me life plus 100 years? You taking my life because I didn't tell you that this dude committed a murder? This is what's happening in Tennessee. They are taking Black men's lives for being quiet. I have a right to mind my business. I have a right to mind my business, right? If I don't see it, I don't see it. I don't care what's happening over there. It doesn't pertain to me. So you want me to risk my life to let you know. So I'm going to end this here, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.